So this is going to be a review and installation, probably mostly review, because these are headlights and the installation's pretty basic. These are Octane lighting, H7 replacements. They're LED replacements. These came recommended from somebody that was on the Facebook forum for 67 to 72 Chevy trucks. It caught my eye because I've looked at some of the LED replacement stuff out there, and they're plastic. They don't look stock. It caught my eye because these look basically stock. They look like a sealed beam. I like the look. I didn't want to put something with plastic. I don't want the angel halo light, whatever, you know. So these caught my eye. They are DOT approved, which is, it's a bonus. Not that anybody really cares, but that's a bonus in case anybody ever asked. They're local to me in Southern California. Unfortunately, though, it is made in China. I was kind of afraid of that just based on the price. This pair is about $100 plus shipping and tax. But they're glass. They are real glass in the front, and with a metal attached backing on them. They look pretty decent. They're not super high quality, I wouldn't say, but I mean, they look nicely built. For the price, I think they're nicely built. The big question for me that, I won't be able to do unless I do a follow-up video on these is, how long will the LEDs last? Heat is a big thing. These have a heat sink on them. It's not huge, but they have a heat sink on them. So, it's going to be how long do they last? Then, of course, how does the color temperature look? How much brighter are they? Current consumption. So we're going to kind of look at all of that stuff. So I'm going to get these installed today, and then tonight I'll shoot the end of this video showing, how bright they are. So, it'll be kind of we'll just kind of do a review, right? Let's have a little fun with this, and hopefully somebody can learn something from it, and, maybe it's a good product and I can recommend it. So, we're just going to have to find out. So let's start with current consumption of the old headlights before I swap them out. I got my clamp meter on here. Everything's off right now, and I zeroed it out. I know that my handheld for my Phytech's actually plugged in right now, so it draws 50 milliamps or something. But so I zeroed it out where it's at. So let's take a look at what happens when I just turn on the parking lights and headlights. That's going to be several amps. So go over here and we'll pull the switch out. So we're looking at about 9.9, call it 10 amps. So we're at 10 amps right now. That's with the low beams on. And this is good because I don't have to write it down. I'll be able to look at this video and tell where I'm at. Go ahead and switch on the high beams. There's the high beam lights on. So let's take a look at what we got. All right, 13 and a half. So 13.4, 13.5 amps just for high beams and parking lights. So parking lights, driving lights, that's probably, there's probably a difference between California and the rest of the world, I imagine. We call them parking lights out here, but I think everywhere else calls them driving lights. That's an interesting thing. That's just like us saying, we take the 405 or the 5. Don't come here and say I-5, we'll look at you funny. Anyways, all right. So we got a baseline on it now. So we know what our current draw for the standard headlights is. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I got to pull the bezel trims off on here. If the 67 through 72 guys are watching this, you got to take the bezels off, which is, not terrible. It's just a pain in the ass. It'd be nice if you could just swap these out without having to take the bezels out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and pop those off, 4 screws on each one. and then we'll swap out the lights for the new ones. And I didn't mention this before with the new lights. If you saw it in there, they're connectorized, so they'll just plug right into here. You don't have to cut up the harness or nothing. It's a real easy thing. They should be drop-in replacements. We're going to validate that, but they should just drop in. It just dawned on me. I think I know why we call them parking lights here. Probably because we spend more time on the road like we're in a parking lot. I bet that's it. Anyways, pulled it apart, and I polished up the ring a little bit. Just, as much as it would. These are the original headlight rings, so, I didn't spend a ton of time on them, but I did clean them up while they're out. So, that's really all there is to this. You take the bezel off, pull the 3 screws out, the bezel comes out of there, holds the headlight in. And so in theory, these guys should just fit just fine. And this is what I was talking about if I didn't show it earlier. This is the plug. It'll go right in there. And it should work. So the only thing I'm going to have to do is, because they got this, it's got a lead on it, I got to make sure that I get it in the bucket there right. I don't want to pinch it or anything or have it get caught up. So I'm probably going to take and push this back. I can't. This side's a little hard to get my hand down in because I got my battery moved to this side. The other side will be no problem, but you want to make sure that you get that all situated when you put that in there. You don't want to pinch that up in there. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'll let you know how that kind of fits. It's installed now. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 for fitment. There's a rubber boot on the back. We can look at the other one that's in here. This rubber boot, and underneath here is the kind of more traditional for today's cars, the clamp that holds the LED bulb into here. If I didn't mention that, actually I know I didn't mention it. These are H7 housings that have a more traditional bulb inserted in them, or a more modern kind of bayonet mount type of a thing. So you can change these LEDs if you have to without having to replace the housing. But anyways, that clip in the rubber is tight in the bucket. It's really tight. It just barely fit in there. I put the bezel on there and tightened it down. It's sitting. It didn't push it all the way into the bucket, but it's pretty darn good. So yeah, it's not fantastic, but it's pretty good. Certainly acceptable. So anyways, that's just that fit right in there pretty well. So I'm gonna get this bezel put back in and I'll move over to the other side. Well, the old one decided to 86 itself. Sorry, little buddy. Anyways, get the passenger side one installed. Fit about the same as the driver's side. I'm not totally sold on the way they fit into the bucket, but it's definitely more than sufficient. It fits in there. It's just a little bit tight. It's up against the rubber. It's not going to hurt anything in there. It's just a little bit tight is all. But I had no trouble getting the ring on. I didn't have to force it or anything. Nothing got bent. So that's all in. Got the bezel back installed. So now I think what we can do while it's light out right now is go ahead and check the current on these guys. We'll do a comparison. Got my clamp meter hooked back up here. I'm going to go ahead and zero it out. On DC, you have to zero it out. It's pretty close. It's showing 100 milliamps or less. That's this thing's fidelity is only about 100 milliamps. Actually, yeah, no, that's where I want it. Doesn't really matter. I can do it on either side. But so the way that these work, by the way, in case you're wondering about what this crazy magic is, where it's not hooked to anything, it's a clamp meter. These are available. They're more common for AC because an AC clamp meter is a little less complex inside because it has a field all the time because AC is alternating. These DC ones are a little bit more expensive, but they do have them. I love this thing. It's great. It tells me all kinds of stuff. I can tell how much current I'm drawing and when I'm checking a charging system, so on and so forth. Anyways, that's just a little blurb about that. It's a Fluke 336. This one's pretty old. I've had it for probably 15 years. Good little meter, though. Anyways, so you'll remember we were at what, about 10 amps or so on low beams, and I think 13 and a half, I want to say, with the high beams on. So I don't expect a massive drop because the parking lights are still incandescent on the sides. I haven't converted those to LED yet because the flashers on these, the way that they're wired, these need to be incandescent in the front. That's what makes it do the alternating back and forth. Switching that to LED is actually not as easy as you would think. I do have LED tail lights, though, and brake lights. So, anyways, stop wasting time. Let's get to it. Let's go ahead and pull the headlights out. And see what we got here. About 8 amps. So 2 amp drop. So that's not a lot. That's really kind of I'm a loss for my words apparently today. As usual, I can't talk. Insignificant. There we go. Could get it out. It's pretty bright out here right now too. You can see there's the sun is right there. And here you can actually see it reflecting on my car cover on my other truck. They're pretty bright, I would say. You know, these are, I mean, they're kind of no joke. I couldn't see the old ones. So, pretty good. Yeah. So that's pretty nifty. I'm hearing a fan running. I'm like wondering what the heck that is. Do these lights have little fans in them or something? Sure sounds like they do. Well, I'll be darned if it doesn't sound like there's a fan in there. I'm telling you that there is. I did not know that. Can you hear that? They sure as heck do. Well, I'll be dogged. No idea. Well, that's cool. That makes me happy. That makes me really happy that they've got fans in them. That'll make the LEDs last a while. So that's cool. Neat feature. So let's kick it up into high. We'll put the high beams on. Why not? All right. Here we go. High beams. So that's pretty cool. That's really kind of awesome. So that's significant. So with the high beams on, we're not even at the same current that we were at with just the lows before. We're at 9.3 amps. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for having the high beams on. So there's definitely a drop in current consumption, which is always good because that puts less strain on your battery or alternator. That's a good thing. So very cool. So what we're going to do next is wait for it to get dark out here, and I'll probably move my other truck out of the way and shine it down the driveway and adjust them because I'm sure they'll need to be adjusted now that I played with it. And then once we get them adjusted up, we'll just take a look and see how bright they are. I can already tell you, though, just looking at this during the daytime, that this is way brighter. So we'll come back tonight and we'll see what it looks like. So it's not totally dark out yet, but kind of twilight. But it's plenty dark, I think, to go ahead and take a look at this. So I already went ahead and adjusted them because I'm not going to show that part. But I have my way of adjusting headlights, and everybody kind of has their other ways of doing it. I have the easy way is I stand 25 feet away from it and judge where it needs to be and keep walking back and forth. You're supposed to use a wall with masking tape or whatever, but anyways, there was no point in me showing that. So they're all adjusted up, and now I'm going to show you what they look like. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kill the work lights in the garage so we can make it nice and dark. And there we are. There's the low beams. and they are far more blue than the color temperature of the camera is picking up. But I mean, it's brighter than I think my modern vehicle, my daily driver, is. Um, yeah, those things are super bright, and it's nice wide beam. Just seems to cover the whole area. Let's go ahead and kick it up into high, and it definitely fills in. So low, high, and yeah, I definitely say that this is far better. Here's a look outside, and yeah, these things are awesome. So yeah, a very positive review. I think I like the product. We'll see if it holds up, because LEDs tend to fail, especially if they're cheap ones or not made to standards and QC'd properly. But we'll see how these hold up. But I'm very very happy with the result that I'm seeing right now. So we'll go ahead and just close this one out. Again, these are Octane lighting. Here's the kit number. I believe it's this right here, and it comes with everything. You don't need to piece this together. It's just what it includes. It's two of the cans, or the sealed beam replacements, and then two of the LEDs. It came all assembled and everything. So not bad for $100. If it holds up, it's totally worth that. So anyways, yeah, overall positive review.